If you eat too many ultra-processed foods, you could be starving your gut microbes, and they'll get hangry. That's one of many things I learned after working on a new audio course about the gut microbiome. You can learn how to keep your gut happy by listening to Try This from the Washington Post. I'm Christina Quinn. I host Try This. Dig in with me on practical advice for life's common challenges. Follow Try This right now wherever you're listening. Seriously, try it.
I'm Rodney Williams.
And I'm Travis Holloway. Welcome to the Wealth Break Podcast, a real conversation about finance.
Let's be honest. Building wealth doesn't look the same for everyone.
I feel like sometimes being broke is a cycle and that we might have to revisit that.
And we're not stopping at success stories.
What happens when it doesn't go right? How do you cope with it?
Because wealth isn't just about money. It's about creating a life where you thrive and help others do the same.
Listen to the Wealth Break Podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
Check out Vizio's complete lineup of home entertainment. From stunning smart TVs to immersive soundbars, Vizio has you covered. Experience entertainment like never before with hundreds of built-in apps, including Watch Free Plus for free live and on-demand TV, all ready to go right out of the box. You can even stream your favorite music, radio, and podcasts with the iHeartRadio app, available on every Vizio smart TV. Transform your entertainment with incredible picture quality and next-level audio. Visit Vizio.com today.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI AM 640 is Later with Mo Kelly. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app. And I think it was last month I had a conversation with Melissa, no last name, the founder, creator of TwoUrbanGirls.com. It is a news and cultural affairs website. That's how I would describe it. It's really informative. They've broken some national stories, and we have some mutual friends in common. One of them being Elex Michaelson, who's a friend of KFI. And let me bring Melissa back on the show. Melissa, it's good to talk to you again. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Mo?
I'm doing well. And just to reset for everyone, when we last talked, we talked about Elex Michaelson, who at that point announced that he was leaving Fox 11. And you know Elex, and I know Elex, and we did not speak to him, but we had like a friendly wager as to where he would end up after Fox 11. I said that I thought he was going to be part of the new, what was called the New York Post. They're doing a West Coast version of the New York Post. I thought he was going to head that up because that is a real thing. And you said, correct me if I'm wrong, that he was possibly going to head up Governor Newsom's presidential communications bid. Is that correct?
Yes, that is.
As it turns out, neither of us was right. And I don't know how we pay off the bet. And if you don't know, Elex Michaelson announced yesterday that he would be going to CNN and he would have his weeknight show on CNN. And I don't know if it's going to be like The Issue Is, but it's going to be, I would say, in the vein of what he had been doing. When you saw the news, what did you think?
I thought, wow, we both got it really wrong. But in a lot of ways, I thought we got it right. I think that he is heading up something new. Come to find out, it was a show that he pitched to them a while back that they passed. He went ahead and brought the idea to Fox 11, who welcomed it. He did a fantastic job. If we look at his roster of guests, Gavin Newsom has been on there the most times. And a lot of news exclusives that Gavin brought to the station came through. Well, a lot of the news that he brought was exclusives to Elex. So I think that for me, I feel like we both foresaw him doing something new, still continuing communications on behalf of the state of California. He's still going to be based in LA. I foresee Gavin Newsom being another prominent fixture on his show, especially as the speculation continues to grow that he's going to run for president. Going to CNN is going to give him a bigger platform to talk than just on Fox 11. So now he'll be able to reach the nation in a different capacity, and with someone that, like Elex, who has become a trusted voice in not only Los Angeles, but in these political circles, given his political and journalism background, he's the best choice for that job opportunity.
You make a great point as far as a larger platform, and I've done a lot of unpaid commentary on CNN for many years, and people don't necessarily know or understand that there's CNN, the domestic channel that we see on our cable systems, and there's also CNN International. They have like 88 bureaus around the world. I say that because whatever Elex Michaelson does for CNN now ostensibly could be used to go around the world. And I know that he had been at Fox 11 for a long time. We texted back and forth, but I didn't get into the specifics of why he left. But I do know he had been at Fox 11 long enough to know that he probably could not grow more where he was. And sometimes you got to go to grow. And this gives him the platform to do more. I root for him every single day. And I tell people all the time, when you see someone leave, they got a better offer. And CNN gave him a better offer like they did Chris Wallace and other people. And I know some people want to look at it through this lens of, oh my gosh, I hate CNN. It's the Clinton News Network. It's the communist news network. No, it's just another outlet. And people kind of forget that. I'm happy for him. Do you know when Elex is supposed to start at this point? I honestly don't know.
He's supposed to start based on what the news channel put out. He should be starting right around the time of early November. Mm-hmm. And they mentioned he'll be starting right when we go to the polls to vote on Prop 50 for the redistricting. So hopefully he can get a show out before Election Day. But I do see him being able to grow his show and become a major force in providing balanced coverage leading up to next year's election. He's a consummate professional. I don't think people understand that. He's one, like me, at least in this respect, who is willing to engage people who watch him. He will be on social media. He will respond directly to people who may criticize him. Mm-hmm. And he is someone who is very serious about journalism as far as how he presents a story, how he tries to keep his personal feelings out of a story. He's a constant. Mm-hmm. I remember when he was just coming out of USC, and I think he was working at ABC 7. He's put in his dues. He's done his time. And now he's going to get a national/international audience to follow him. And I think his success is our success. But I do want to ask you, since I do have you to switch gears just briefly, you do a wonderful job talking about things which are going on in Inglewood and also right around Inglewood. So let me ask you, what are some of the top issues or topics of conversation right now within the Inglewood community? Our biggest conversations now are revolving around the immigration rates. Mm-hmm. It's hitting Inglewood very hard, along with the unincorporated part of Inglewood, which is Lennox. The two get conflated a lot. But I think the bigger conversation is, where do our elected officials stand on the issue? In one breath, they're saying, hey, we support you. And then we just put up a video showing code enforcement being heavy-handed with street vendors who were assembled outside of the SoFi Stadium last week's Rams game, I'm sorry. So I think that, especially with us having 2 Latino council members, it's really important for the community to feel their voices are being heard. They're at weekly city council meetings saying, hey, what can you do to help us? There are legal funds, or there are things that can help with, food donations, et cetera. We see what City of LA is doing, unprecedented things like saying, hey, if you get taken and detained by ICE, we'll waive, parking enforcement and toll fees if you can show that the car was left there because of ICE being detained by ICE. So I think that in Inglewood, they're looking at that. Also, we're looking at, of course, the parking issues, what's going to be the next development with this transit connector. So I think it's still kind of primarily around immigration enforcement. My time is running short with you, Melissa, but since you mentioned immigration enforcement, you may not have been listening. I was talking about the law, which is getting ready to be signed by Governor Newsom, regarding law enforcement inclusive of ICE. They will not be able to use masks, and they have to be clearly identifiable going forward. How do you think, well, let me ask you this, because I was making the statement for
for those of us who live in these communities, I live right outside of Inglewood, it has always been a concern as far as you have these masked individuals, armed individuals, how they interact and how they try to detain or go about these ICE raids. How have you seen these ICE raids play out specifically with regard to masks and non-identification in the Inglewood and surrounding communities?
I think it's very disturbing because you don't know who these people are. I think the federal government got a huge win when the Supreme Court allowed them to go ahead and resume immigration enforcement in the city of LA specifically, because they were still doing it in surrounding areas. I believe social media definitely fuels us seeing a more humanistic side to these raids. When you see people in the streets trying to stop the activity of the federal government. But it's interesting because our elected officials in Inglewood will say, well, you know, they don't tell law enforcement when they're coming here. We have no idea when these action takes place. And then there becomes the issue of federal law over state and local law. Mm-hmm. So it'll be interesting to see how it continues to play out if Governor Newsom does sign the legislation and if the Trump administration will even follow it.
Before I let you go, we know each other just a little bit, but I need to know something about you so I can really appreciate whether we can be friends or not. You mentioned what was going on around SoFi Stadium, so I have to ask you, Rams or Chargers?
I'm a Saints fan.
Okay, we can end this conversation right now. I don't need to ask you then, Dodgers or Angels then, right?
Dodgers, absolutely.
Okay. Kings or Ducks?
I don't watch hockey.
Okay. USC or UCLA?
USC, of course.
Okay. Now I can rock with you. 3 out of 4 is good enough. Melissa of 2urbangirls.com. Thank you so much for your reporting. Thank you for being such a good sport with our bet regarding Elex Michaelson. I guess neither of us won, so we'll have to find something else to put a wager on in the future.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me back.
Talk soon. It's Later with Mo Kelly, KFI AM 640, live everywhere.
If you eat too many ultra-processed foods, you could be starving your gut microbes, and they'll get hangry. That's one of many things I learned after working on a new audio course about the gut microbiome. You can learn how to keep your gut happy by listening to Try This from the Washington Post. I'm Christina Quinn. I host Try This. Dig in with me on practical advice for life's common challenges. Follow Try This right now wherever you're listening. Seriously, try it.
I'm Rodney Williams.
And I'm Travis Holloway. Welcome to the Wealth Break.
Let's be honest. Building wealth doesn't look the same for everyone. It's not just about saving, it's about investing. It's about navigating systems that weren't built for you, embracing your hustle, and relying on your community to create something bigger.
And that's exactly why we created the Wealth Break. We made something different, something more human. It's not just another financial podcast. It's a conversation about real life, real struggles, and real wins.
We're here to talk about the journey. You're hearing from people who've broken barriers, found creative ways to succeed, and learned to build wealth on their terms. Whether it's the first-time homeowner, a gig worker, or someone turning a side hustle into a six-figure business, we're bringing you their stories.
And we're not stopping at success stories. We're breaking down the realities, like what it means to take risk, how to navigate failure, and why resilience matters. Because wealth isn't about money. It's about creating a life where you can thrive and help others to do the same.
So if you're ready for a podcast as much as about people as it is about money, you're in the right place.
Listen to the Wealth Break podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
Check out Vizio's complete lineup of home entertainment. From stunning smart TVs to immersive soundbars, Vizio has you covered. Experience entertainment like never before with hundreds of built-in apps, including WatchFree Plus for free live and on-demand TV, all ready to go right out of the box. You can even stream your favorite music, radio, and podcasts with the iHeartRadio app, available on every Vizio smart TV. Transform your entertainment with incredible picture quality and next-level audio. Visit Vizio.com today.
We're on the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI, later with Mo Kelly, live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app. No video simulcast tonight. That'll be back on Tuesday. But let's talk about what's happening in Texas regarding this, what is being dubbed as an anti-anime bill. And there's no one who I think better understands anime than Tuala Sharp. Let me just tell you about this bill real quick. On September 1st, Texas embraced this, what is called the anti-anime bill, Senate Bill 20. And according to the new legislation, anyone who owns or shares quote unquote obscene material featuring a character who appears to be a minor is now committing a serious crime punishable by jail time. And it has untold consequences for different comic book retailers, just book retailers. Tuala, I know you know this. We've had some companies which had to pull out of Comic-Con and anime conventions because of this.
Yeah.
In the state of Texas, they had the San Japan convention in San Antonio over this past weekend, and there were publishers had to pull out of fear of retribution.
Look, the fact that this is happening in Texas, it doesn't surprise me at all, because right now Texas does everything big, and that includes extremist views to go after anime companies and target the material that is being released or created by anime distributors, be it film, television, or manga, comics. It's absolute insanity. I mean, look, I got tickets for tomorrow afternoon, IMAX, Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, Infinity Castle. Me and my son were going to veg out. That's what we do all Saturday. We watch these shows. And I understand that some of the material in anime can be considered risque. There is a lot of material that you look at and you go, that's wild, but it is also content that is created by a far less uptight society. If you go to places like Paris and you go to Japan, you go to different places that have different ideas about sex and sexuality and also what they consider risque, what they're doing in these anime series lots of times considered tame by comparison. Now, to me, the issue that I have is when I think about a place like Texas that goes this far to try to ban and make it punishable by crime to even sell this stuff in, say, a comic book shop or to have a convention that is attracting people to come and see it, I think does protest too much. I think a lot of the individuals that are against this are some of the freaks that are wearing ball gags and getting beat at night, and forgetting their password.
You think every accusation is a confession, huh?
I think it's a full-on confession. I think that they're like, burn it to the ground, but save me some.
It's weird. That's my word. Because we always hear about free speech, and I use this against the backdrop of the murder of Charlie Kirk, because people were talking about, hey, he was just saying this and you may not agree with him, but he didn't necessarily need to die because of it. So we are more focused on the speech that we have right now. I don't understand the cognitive dissonance where we want to talk about free speech, but then we want to go to such great lengths in this instance to limit speech or limit creative expression.
That is because the definition of free speech in a state like Texas seems to be, by all the things that they want to roll out, free speech for some, or free speech by way of what we determine to be right or righteous or Christian or however you want to have it. You're talking about a state who tried to lead a movement against the wokeness of Disney. We want our superheroes to be like they were when we're growing up. What, you mean only crash landing in Kansas and growing up eating mom's apple pie? You can't have anyone else that could be a superhero?
Well, not even that. I got to add to that, because before we go to break, Jeffrey Wright, who played Commissioner Gordon in the most recent iteration of the Batman, he was talking about the amount of hate that he got. He's not even playing a superhero. He was playing Commissioner Jim Gordon on the silver screen. And he got so much hate because Jim Gordon has always been a white man. It's like, well, it's a cartoon character. And the person who owns all things Batman, Michael Uslan, who's been on the show 4 or 5 times, wanted that.
Yes. He got death threats.
Yes, he did.
So
yes, he did.
This is the world that we're living in a place like Texas that can say, you know what? We're not having that anime in my backyard. You obviously weren't watching it in the first place. What are you talking about?
Anime in Texas are probably not hand in hand.
Yeah, that's absolutely. But it's one of those things where you want to come out, you want to beat your chest and look at us. We're Americans. We don't take kindly to any of that anime. We don't even know what it is. We don't know what they're saying because you know what we don't do? We don't even read subtitles. So we have no idea what's going on in that darn show. But we know it's not American. That's what we know.
If you eat too many ultra-processed foods, you could be starving your gut microbes, and they'll get hangry. That's one of many things I learned after working on a new audio course about the gut microbiome. You can learn how to keep your gut happy by listening to Try This from the Washington Post. I'm Christina Quinn. I host Try This. Dig in with me on practical advice for life's common challenges. Follow Try This right now wherever you're listening. Seriously, try it.
I'm Rodney Williams.
And I'm Travis Holloway. Welcome to the Wealth Break.
Let's be honest, building wealth doesn't look the same for everyone. It's not just about saving, it's about investing. It's about navigating systems that weren't built for you, embracing your hustle, and relying on your community to create something bigger.
And that's exactly why we created the Wealth Break. We made something different, something more human. It's not just another financial podcast. It's a conversation about real life, real struggles, and real wins.
We're here to talk about the journey. You'll hear from people who've broken barriers, found creative ways to succeed, and learned to build wealth on their terms. Whether it's the first-time homeowner, a gig worker, or someone turning a side hustle into a 6-figure business, we're bringing you their stories.
And we're not stopping at success stories. We're breaking down the realities, like what it means to take risk, how to navigate failure, and why resilience matters. Because wealth isn't about money. It's about creating a life where you can thrive and help others to do the same.
So if you're ready for a podcast as much as about people as it is about money, you're in the right place.
Listen to the Wealth Break podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
Check out Vizio's complete lineup of home entertainment. From stunning smart TVs to immersive soundbars, Vizio has you covered. Experience entertainment like never before with hundreds of built-in apps, including Watch Free Plus for free live and on-demand TV, all ready to go right out of the box. You can even stream your favorite music, radio, and podcasts with the iHeartRadio app, available on every Vizio smart TV. Transform your entertainment with incredible picture quality and next-level audio. Visit Vizio.com today.
Funny to all.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Now on Later with Mo Kelly, Mark talks about movies and TV, pontificates about pop culture. Rahner Report with Mark Rahner. Mark Rahner right now. Mark Rahner right now. Mark Rahner right now. Report with Mark Rahner.
It's Later with Mo Kelly on KFI AM 640, live everywhere on the iHeart app. I'm Mark Rahner, and this is the Rahner Report. This week, I endured the long walk. Here's a little of the trailer.
We did the very first long walk years ago to inspire everyday people.
Smile, boys. You're on candid camera. And you gotta not think about the things out of your control. Think about your plan. Personally, I can't stop thinking about all that money.
You'll never find another one. I'm the last of my kind.
Warning. Okay, just keep walking. That's right. Just keep walking. Yeah, that's it, kid. That's it.
Second warning. Third warning.
It takes heavy sack to sign up for this contest. I'm not going to go through the whole rule book, but it boils down to this. If you fall below the speed of 3 miles per hour, you get your ticket. Walk, until there's only one of you left. Who's ready to win?
Well, I got some bad news for all but one of the people. This is based on a Stephen King book that I haven't read. It's the first one he wrote a few years before he wrote Carrie, which was the first one he published. And it became one of the infamous Bachman books that he wrote under the pseudonym of Richard Bachman. The Long Walk was collected with 3 other King novels in that volume called the Bachman Books in 1985. It also contained a short novel called Rage about a school shooting. And after the Paducah, Kentucky school shooting in 1997, King let it go out of print along with the original paperback. At this point, I think you can get all the other 3 novels individually except for Rage. Last night I saw Rage first edition on eBay for $3,000. You can get the Bachman collection paperback for less than $100. I'm too cheap for either one. The premise of The Long Walk, you kind of heard in the trailer, which is generous of them to provide exposition like that. In a dystopian America, there's an annual contest in which a bunch of young men walk hundreds of miles for days on end, and the one who outlasts all the others gets anything he wants for life. A few minor rules: you can't walk below a certain speed, and you only get 3 warnings before armed guards shoot you in the head. You can also get executed for a variety of other things, which fall under the general category of not continuing to walk and at the minimum speed. If you've never heard of the Bataan Death March in World War II, have a look on your Wikipedia. The Long Walk is worse. And to answer your other question, no, you cannot stop to poop. And yet poop we must. For further illumination on that, you're going to have to see the movie yourself. As a game show, The Long Walk is nearly as bad as that one where they shout no whammies all the time, hosted by Elizabeth Banks. I suppose you like that.
Was that Joker's Wild?
No, I forget the name of it. I looked it up last
Card Sharks?
Don't get me sidetracked. The contestants in The Long Walk get plenty of whammies with high-powered weapons. Mark Hamill, that's the voice you heard. He plays the major who's in charge of everything, and he yells at the guys generally from a moving vehicle in front of him. Not a huge role. The focus is on the walkers. I don't know if he's right for the role, but I like seeing Mark Hamill in pretty much anything. The contestant we follow is a regular guy played by Cooper Hoffman, the son of the late Philip Seymour Hoffman. He starred in Licorice Pizza, which I thought was terrific. Judy Greer plays his mom, who's just beside herself that he's entered this death contest, which is rational since only one person survives it. Your odds of coming back from, I don't know, Popeyes, the Marines, or college are significantly better, so it's okay to cry. Let it out. Along the way on The Long Walk, friendships are formed, enemies are made, some guys antagonize others, they share their secrets and motivations with each other, and their bodies begin to give out. Again, we're talking days, no rest, no sleep, no bathroom, no in-and-out drive-through, no creatine. Yesterday, I stared down a guy in the Costco parking lot who didn't return his cart to the metal corral. So I'm thinking most of us wouldn't do so well in this kind of contest. But I think there's also plenty of allegory to it all in The Long Walk. Not the Costco guy. He was just an a-hole. Not returning your cart is dispositive proof in the real world that you're a bad person. You don't have to search real hard for allegories in this movie, though. I mean, something like 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck and are having trouble making ends meet right now. And there's more and more talk of cutting retirement benefits. So, you know, a movie about people who are forced to walk for more powerful people until they drop dead isn't the most escapist concept ever. I mean, you could be watching Alien, which is a far-fetched sci-fi thriller about a group of underpaid space truckers who work for a corporation that regards them as expendable, if that means huge profits from a new weapon. All right, moving on. The Long Walk is directed by Francis Lawrence, who did several Hunger Games movies. He did the Keanu Reeves Constantine movie, which has been growing in reputation over the years. He also did that terrible Will Smith I Am Legend movie, which is so wretched and so stupid that I'm not sure he understood the book it came from, written by Richard Matheson. As for a movie that's largely walking and talking, punctuated by some shooting, this moves along and doesn't get dull. I don't know when I first became aware of the walk and talk as a staple in shows, probably The West Wing, but then I noticed it in older shows like The FBI, and I realize now what those were all missing. The Long Walk is grim, it's grueling, it's nihilistic. I wouldn't exactly call it a crowd pleaser, but it pleased me. There's been talk of a movie of this story forever with different directors over the years, and I'm glad to see a version of it that isn't embarrassing. King's original ending sounds more haunting. But movies necessarily change things sometimes. It's a dystopian story King wrote in the 60s, but the dystopia goalposts have moved since then. They get into the characters' motivations for joining this death contest, and everyone's different. But our point of view guy is at least in part motivated by financial security for him and his hot mom. Sorry, his mom, played by Judy Greer. And it's more and more desperation in real life now. When I see a game show and someone wins and the host asks what they're going to spend the dough on, I'm seeing more people say, well, they'll finally pay off their student loans, or they can finally afford a house. A house. Not a castle, not a mansion, just a house to live in. And that's where we're at. And maybe you remember a short time ago, a TV producer pitched a reality show to the government about immigrants competing for U.S. citizenship. This was in May. You can look it up. It's real, even though the producer's name sounds made up. Rob Worsoff, as in worse off. His credits include Duck Dynasty, so I guess the name is apt. And by the way, King's Bachman books also include another death game show contest story, The Running Man. I bet you've heard of it. We're going to get a remake of that soon, which is a much more over-the-top action spectacle than this thought-provoking, nasty little piece of filth, The Long Walk. Now, let's be honest about Stephen King. For some time now, he's been like Pablo Picasso, when Picasso could just sketch on a napkin and pay his dinner tab with it. Except King can do that, and it'll get made into a movie, no matter what. We could do a whole show on the best and worst of King movies. I think The Long Walk is one of the better ones. It's focused, it's smaller scale, it's, like I said, nasty, and it has the distinct advantage of not being The Dark Tower, or The Lawnmower Man, or The Tommyknockers. I could keep going.
Langoliers?
You get the idea, Mo? Yeah, the Langoliers. Yes, I was going to say the Langoliers. Great animation in that one, you know, of those flying mouth fang things. So there you have it. That's The Long Walk. I recommend it. I enjoyed it. Maybe not for everyone. There's your Rahner report, Mo. What do you got?
Press your luck. That's the game with the whammies.
Yeah, you're right. You press your luck. I'm not watching that show.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
If you eat too many ultra-processed foods, you could be starving your gut microbes, and they'll get hangry. That's one of many things I learned after working on a new audio course about the gut microbiome. You can learn how to keep your gut happy by listening to Try This from the Washington Post. I'm Christina Quinn. I host Try This. Dig in with me on practical advice for life's common challenges. Follow Try This right now wherever you're listening. Seriously, try it.
I'm Rodney Williams.
And I'm Travis Holloway. Welcome to the Wealth Break Podcast, a real conversation about finance.
Let's be honest. Building wealth doesn't look the same for everyone.
I feel like sometimes being broke is a cycle and that we might have to revisit that.
And we're not stopping at success stories.
What happens when it doesn't go right? How do you cope with it?
Because wealth isn't just about money. It's about creating a life where you thrive and help others do the same.
Listen to the Wealth Break Podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
Check out Vizio's complete lineup of home entertainment. From stunning smart TVs to immersive soundbars, Vizio has you covered. Experience entertainment like never before with hundreds of built-in apps, including Watch Free Plus for free live and on-demand TV, all ready to go right out of the box. You can even stream your favorite music, radio, and podcasts with the iHeartRadio app, available on every Vizio smart TV. Transform your entertainment with incredible picture quality and next-level audio. Visit Vizio.com today.